Hi, welcome to my channel, Grit, Grind and Gratitude, where we talk to micro-entrepreneurs about their journey of becoming a micro-entrepreneur and walking that path. Grit, Grind and Gratitude shares stories of resilience, of purpose and values-led entrepreneurs who are shaping their futures boldly.
It's a great opportunity. It's a great initiative. We love the idea when you first introduced that to us, and we had a nice chat about it. You're doing a great job. The passion and the love that you have in what you do is inspiring itself. So it's an honor that we've been chosen and we're here with you. So first of all, I'd like to thank you about that. So as you mentioned already, I'm Katerina, Ioannis, we're both physiotherapists. Our journey actually starts from back in London. We're both Greek, but we met in London. We didn't know each other back in Greece. Ioannis at that time was working a full-time job in a private clinic and a part-time job with Chelsea Football Club. So he was already doing more than just one job. I moved to the UK for my master's. I did for 1.5 years approximately my full-time master's in Brighton. But doing the same profession and having the same career and the same pathway, we knew when we were discussing with Ioannis that eventually we will do something of our own. This is how it all started back then. Then eventually I finished my master's and I started working in a private clinic, and Ioannis moved full-time with Chelsea Football Club. And life in London had their own challenges. Commuting was one of them, different schedules. Ioannis was pretty much all day with Chelsea in their headquarters in the training ground, and I was pretty much doing a more organized work. My schedule was Monday to Friday, but Ioannis was always either traveling or being with the team over the weekend. And so for a period of time, it was very challenging for us. We were not, we didn't have much time together. Our lifestyle was not very, it was not smooth. Well, let's put it down this way. Even to arrange holidays for us, it was a challenge. And this is when the idea of eventually doing something of our own started, being created. So after about a couple of years from then, eventually we got married, and the opportunity of Dubai just came out of the blue. It was not in our plans. It was not, we never thought about it. It just happened. We decided to open the door and explore. It was actually the same year that we got married. So maybe it was a time for a better lifestyle or a better work-life balance that we were looking at. And we just said, we gave it a lot of thought, and we said, let's check it out. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what this opportunity has to offer, and then we make the decision. So it's true that I moved in Dubai first in January 2019. Ioannis is a very loyal person, is hardworking, he loves what he does, but he's also very, very loyal, very good at it. He didn't want to leave the team in the middle of the season. He wanted to finish the season with football with the Chelsea. He gave them enough notice that the plans have changed, and that after the end of the season in summer 2019, he will also move to Dubai. So when I came here first to test the waters a little bit and to see how life is, and if actually they're going to give us what they're offering, if we're going to like the place, if we're going to be settled here. It was also challenging, the fact that we were separated for 6 months, pretty much when we first got married, when it was early on, but it was part of the plan, and I think it worked. It worked.
I agree.
It was a moment that we also needed to see if this move, because it's a big move. All our life, everything for us was in London. Everything we knew, everything that we built together, the time that we spent together, our careers, both our masters, and our work experience, everything was in the UK. So it was a big change, and we needed to test it. And working as a team, I think it worked. I moved here first, and then he followed.
So just going back to the beginning of London, I did my master's degree in Cardiff. When I went to Cardiff, I had a plan and a vision and a dream to work for Chelsea. I wanted to work for this club. This is the club that I always wanted to work back in Greece. I worked with one of the best clubs as well, and I worked for the national volleyball teams of Greece. But this story, until I got to Chelsea, had also a lot of rejections. So when I had finished my master's degree and I had the license to practice, I had started applying for football jobs. And I have somewhere those letters. Unfortunately, it's not successful. You're unsuccessful, and we'll welcome in the future other application and so on. And it was one, then it was two. Back then they were sending letters. It wasn't only emails. I have those letters and the clubs that they rejected me at the time. And then I found a job in a clinic quite easily in London because I had a good experience. So it didn't take me more than a week to find a job in London. And then I had also a plan to do some courses to improve the chances of getting accepted by one of these clubs. It was more relevant with sports-specific physio stuff. And as soon as I finished the last one, I had met another person, another physio there, a Greek guy as well. And he calls me and he tells me, because he had the same dream to work anywhere in football. I was more passionate about football, he was not as much. But he said, there is an ad for a Chelsea part-time role. And I said, oh man, I'm not going to apply again. I've got so many rejections. And he said, no, let's apply together. Tomorrow is the deadline. And he somehow convinced me. And that evening, I submitted the application. And the good thing is that the next day, they called me and they invited me to an interview. So, but I had at least 5 or 6 rejections until that time, which was a period of probably a year. So for a year, that dream of working for a big football club, and especially Chelsea, which was the club that I was supporting, didn't seem coming anywhere close to it. Okay, and I never thought that maybe all these courses, the experience that I gained in London, working in the clinic, maybe all that, and it just happened. And then I went to the interview and I did quite good. I remember that, and I was sure that I did good. And the next day they called me and they said, we're very pleased and would like to offer you the role. And that night I couldn't sleep. It was a very, very emotional night because I was super excited. I was overwhelmed. It's even now I feel emotional by saying this. So, and then it was grafting between 2 jobs. All my life, and all the weekends, 40 weekends, pretty much a year, I was working my day job like 8 to 4 or 8 to 5. Then the rest of the days, Saturdays also training and, working for the club, Sunday covering the game. So for several years, I didn't have a lot of weekends. For at least three years, I had very, very few weekends for myself. And and it worked. But up until that time, I never thought I was going to make it in the end. So, but I was also quite happy with what I was doing. And I had seen that I am a good physio in this country. I knew because when I started working in the clinic, they took me to shadow other physios, how they work. And the first time I went to the shadowing sessions, I said, is that it? That's it, what they do here? And it was nothing compared to what I knew what to do. And I knew from that time onwards, from my very first job, that I'm gonna make a killing here. I'm gonna make a good life here. Even as a physio, and physios in the UK, most of them, there is a ceiling. You cannot make a lot of money because of the NHS, the private work. It's very, very difficult. But it happened, and I realized that if you're good, you can make some really, really good career and progression in this country. And then we met Katerina, and then she said everything about it.
Okay, so now going a little forward. So when was this dream? So the dream was there. Katerina talked about it, that we always wanted to do something of our own. You wanted to set up the clinic, and then life brought you to Dubai. When you came to Dubai, were you very clear that you're going to set up a clinic here?
Not yet. So, no. The dream was there, the idea was there, and we both love what we do, and that was back in London. But then suddenly life brought us to Dubai. So in Dubai, we knew nothing at the beginning, pretty much nothing at all. So how the system works, how healthcare works, how businesses work, how private sector is, smaller clinics, bigger clinics, hospitals. We were very used to the European standards or European work balance, if you like, but we knew nothing about Dubai. So the opportunity that brought us here, a private clinic back in the days, we both signed, we both knew we're going to be employees, we're going to be in this. They were actually opening a new branch, so they had some openings, and they offered us both a role there. And the dream was there, and the idea of doing something of our own, but in a completely different place, in a different continent, in a different country. So that stayed on the side a little bit. And then life brought us our first son, our first child. And the idea of having something of our own was going further below in the priority list, further down.
This is which year? This is which year?
So this is, I actually, when I moved in Dubai, I moved to Dubai January 2019. Ioannis moved here July 2019. And by August, September, we found out I'm pregnant already. So 2020, when COVID started, I actually delivered our son during the very strict lockdown, heavy COVID situation. And everything was unknown back then for everyone. So the idea was pretty much forgotten by then. Life kicked in. The challenge of this pandemic that no one knew what's going to happen. No one knew what next day brings us. With newborn at that time, thankfully, we managed to have my mom here visiting us. She got stuck here because of COVID situation, but at least she could help us, because even during COVID, our profession as healthcare is an essential profession. We never stopped working. We reduced the hours because we were in a private clinic, but we worked throughout. People after surgeries, as you well know, they need their treatment, they need to carry on with their recovery. So the idea was not there at that time, if I'm very honest with you. Then we all recovered somehow after COVID. And in 2021, some challenges in that workplace, in that clinic that we were, came up. There were some challenges that I guess all businesses had after COVID, but also our situation was very different, having a child, having a baby. Some flexibility that was there before was taken away from us, which made things very tough, especially on me as a mother, a working woman. And this is when we discussed it a lot with Ioannis. Ioannis supported me a lot. I was going through a very, very rough time for a few months, crying a lot, not knowing what to do, not knowing if it is the right place to be, not knowing how to find a balance again between work and my career and being a mom and having a newborn, my mother obviously had to go back home, so she couldn't stay here forever. We were not used to the system here. Everything was very challenging, and that bring us to 2021. And that Ioannis supported me a lot, and we decided I resign, and I take some time to consider things, to find some balance, to calm down, and to find a better work-life balance if possible. So Ioannis was still working there, and I resigned first. Then there was another actually private clinic. So the dream didn't start just then. Like the plan of doing something of our own didn't start just then, because it was still very early days, the newborn, the situation. But then we started discussing about it and started bringing it back to life, to our discussions, to our planning. In the meantime, we needed to work, obviously, and we needed to earn a living. So I reapplied for a new position, but only as a part-time physio, because I couldn't manage being a new mom, being a working employee, and it was a lot. So I discussed that from the beginning in my interview, that what I'm looking for is a more part-time, flexible role that I can find a balance in my life and my family. And thankfully that was given to me. So I must admit that that helped a lot. And for another year, I actually worked in that setup. Part-time only, more flexible hours, taking care of the baby as well. And then is when we decided, okay, let's see what we do now. Ioannis also joined this place because they were treating us fairly, and that was important, appreciating our situation. And so Ioannis joined this clinic. We were working there together again, just in a different basis, in a different setup. During this time, the dream came up again, more to the surface, and we knew that we always wanted it, so maybe it's time to think about it again. We also knew that we wanted another baby, so which is also tricky. And Ioannis wanted another baby early on. He really liked fatherhood. So again, it was this consideration and try of planning that I'm sure you know, it never comes the way you plan it. It never really comes out the way we want. So the idea of setting up something of our own and having our own business, little business, took us about a year to consider, to think, to do some research, to decide. All the theoretical first step and first part took about a year. It was not straightforward. It was not, we decide, let's go, and considering everything that is happening. And during this year, I got pregnant to our second child, which it was also a little tricky because we wanted to have the second one a little earlier, so the baby would be a little older, like after the first 6-8 months, for us to set up our business. But God has always different plans. That didn't happen. And when we decided that, let's go, let's do it, let's build it, this is pretty much when I got pregnant. And I was doing both things at the same time.
So you were birthing two babies at the same time, because birthing a business is almost like birthing a baby, you know?
Totally. Yeah. That's exactly.
So there's gestation period, there is thought, there is a lot of heavy lifting to be done in the pre-launch phase. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, this is pretty much how how everything started back in 2022. This is when it was seeded, I guess, and this is when it all started. The good thing here, I must admit, is that, which we didn't know, and we had some challenges with Ioannis. Being partners in life doesn't mean automatically you're partners in business.
Yeah, that is a big challenge actually sometimes.
A very big one. And Ioannis and I were very different as well in many aspects. And as a woman, as a lady myself, being very emotional as well, it was a big concern I had. I remember we discussed at some point that we don't want the business to destroy our marriage. Like,
Yeah.
we chose each other to be partners in life. If being partners in business doesn't work, we need to choose our battle. We need to choose which side we are on. And it was not smooth. It was not easy. And Ioannis will tell you that I'm very difficult, which I am. I'm very challenging. And it hasn't been an easy journey for either of us, especially Ioannis. Somehow, with a lot of work, a lot of patience, especially from his side, we realized that, okay, maybe we can work on it together. Maybe we can make it work. And we worked on that quite a lot. It's true, and I'm sure you want to share that, and that it brought a lot of challenges in our relationship. Ioannis and I didn't used to fight a lot. When business came to the play, when work, one will say that we also had two very young children, which is true. So it was a completely new chapter from all angles, completely different to what we knew before. So it's true that it brought a lot of tensions on the way. And looking back, I don't regret. I actually don't regret. We had our challenges. It has made some difficulties, I guess. We've learned a lot from it. It could have been smoother without it. It could have been easier. Ioannis will share his opinion. I don't regret. And I take it as learning process. But we've been through periods that when we were just partners and not business partners, it was smoother. That's for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think we had the biggest fights for work-related issues rather than anything else, for personal-related issues. And it is a combination of many factors that have to do with work and responsibilities. A lot of challenges throughout. So yeah, it is a rough road when you think about it. We're still learning. It's a big process. It's a long process, but hopefully things are getting smoother, I think.
Great. So I do hear, yes, of course, I agree that there are challenges when we work together, especially with people who are our safe spaces, so we are very comfortable showing our emotions. If it was an external person, then many a times we keep things in our heart and we don't express it all out. So I do understand, because I'm reminded of a particular time during college when I and Pritesh fought a lot because we worked together on a particular deadline on a project. And also the challenges are that who do you crib to?
Exactly.
Otherwise you come home and on the dinner table or with your partner, you can crib, you can take your frustrations out. Now your frustrations are with your partner, and oftentimes it is because the personalities are very different.
Yeah.
And I can see you and Ioannis are very different personalities, and probably the opposites attract. But the opposites also create problems, especially when we have to decide. In your case, the investment in the business is also big because you need a physical space, you need to hire people, and you need to, there is a style of management that Katerina, I can imagine, will be very different to Ioannis's style of management. And oftentimes when I've spoken to Ioannis has said, I just want to concentrate on healing knees, not on managing the business.
This is one of the good parts, actually, that the roles were clear from the beginning. Even from before having this business, I knew and I had a plan that eventually, I don't know when in my life, but eventually I will go down the managerial role one way or another, or the academic role. I had my part of things, my vision, whereas Ioannis is a very good practical physiotherapist. He loves what he does. It's clear to him as well that this is what he wants to do. This is where he wants to focus on. And that helped a little bit the process and the journey because the roles were clear. It was not messy. It was not a lot of overlapping. Yes, of course, we make decisions together, absolutely. And there's a lot of discussions and a lot of different opinions in order to make a decision. But the day-to-day and managerial stuff, at least the responsibilities and the roles are clearer distributed, with not creating more load and more friction. I guess this is something that supported us, which we didn't know initially. It came naturally. That actually came naturally. You said something earlier, and I don't know if Ioannis can remember when he realized that, but it's a good opportunity to point it out, and I think it's very important in such a case because I guess we're also a different example, being partners, being business partners as well. I didn't even realize and recognize why Ioannis cannot understand me at some point. So we went through a phase, the difficult part that Ioannis said as well, that I was actually trying to I felt that Ioannis cannot understand me. And I guess from his side, he would probably tell you the same, and he will be the same. And I realized what you just said, that our safe place, our partner, our other half, the person we vent to, the person to listen to us, the person that we complain, we are free, we are emotional, we are vulnerable with, is actually the person that I also have the conflict with sometimes. It took me a lot of self-work and a lot of searching underneath, trying to understand how this can work. And I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying that this emotional processing, men do not have it at a very high level. So Ioannis couldn't understand that this is happening between us, and I actually didn't pick it up early on until at some point we sat down and I told him, listen, I'm in a difficult situation and you're my safe place. And I actually realized that because I'm the safe place of our kids, how the kids complain and moan and get all their behavior to the mother, I was actually doing that to Ioannis. And I told him, listen, I come to realize that you're my safe place here. I don't have any of my family members, my sister, my mother, my cousin. I don't have my best friends. Like, you're my only safe place. So yes, I'm being challenging, difficult, honest, emotional to you, that you're also carrying your own challenges, for sure. But I'm not being like this because I want to be mean or because I want to be difficult. Because I need my safe place as much as I need my business partner. And I guess this is when we somehow understood that we need to find some balance, and it was not easy. And I guess this is another very important part to point out. In our case, that was also another challenge, how to find the balance between the two.
Also, I remember Ioannis sharing that you took on an executive coach during that time, creating some transformations in the way you looked at life and what he brought to your life as a benefit.
I'm really glad and happy you're bringing it up. Honestly, I didn't know where to take it from. I had no experience, and thankfully, this is where our network is quite strong and good. And from our network, Ioannis told me, let's have a dinner with a person that I know who can maybe advise us what you need or what can help overall. Because by taking this myself, doing more of the managerial part in our business, it will actually bring a result and a balance to us even and to the whole situation. So, and I was ready to explore what I need. I suffered until then. I did a lot of self-work. I was going back and forth. It was just accumulating. I've been through difficulties. I had anxiety and I started losing my sleep. It got to a point that it was tricky. And this is when Ioannis said, let's see what options we have, what we can do. And we met with this person for dinner. We discussed everything, even the way that I was presenting or explaining myself. It was very emotional. It was very tensed. I'm an open book. I cannot hide my emotions really. So even this person understood that I'm a bit lost. At that point, I was a bit lost. And so I had another private conversation with them, just the two of us. And this person explained to me the different structure and the different journey one can have with psychology sessions, what we target, what we need, what we aim for, etc., mentorship, and coaching. And it was pretty clear to me among the three that coaching is what I need. Coaching is where I am at the moment, and coaching should be the one to help me. So they helped me find an executive coach with great experience. Actually, I cannot thank them enough. Honestly, it's and yet I had my concerns. Because I've been doing a lot of self-work myself, overanalyzing, etc. I'm like, I'm not sure. I always believe that it matters a lot who is your teacher, coach, instructor in life. Like even when you go to a Pilates class, is different from instructor to instructor. And I believe that a lot. So I had my little concerns, but I gave it a go. I was open to the idea. I was vulnerable. I was honest to them and to myself. I went through the whole process. We did a few sessions. Ioannis at some point, he was asking me, is it working? And I remember it was even difficult for me to explain to him, how is it working? Ioannis is very practical. He does his physiotherapy for the knee. You can see that the person walks without pain. It's working. The background story and all the theoretical and emotional part, struggling a little bit, but it has been working. I restored a little bit some of my own style, my management style, my input. It was a very, very important part. I felt more comfortable delegating. Until then, I was not. And they opened the windows for me to actually see other parts from different angles. And again, together with the coaching, I did a lot of self-work to get there. And I'm still doing my coaching, by the way, less often, but I'm not giving up on that. It has helped me It is still helping me. There are always challenges coming up. I believe we learn every day. We learn from all our experiences. There is so much to learn. And yes, again, the most important thing is that Ioannis had my back. Ioannis supported me to do all these steps along the way. And although we've been through challenges together, we're still together. Like, we're still having each other's back, working together. Ioannis took a lot of the load at home with the kids at some point to give me the space and the energy and the time to focus more on the business, which is not very common for men to do.
What would we do without our partners in our life, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But
even Mike, I can say very, very, very confidently that I am what I am because my partner is the wind beneath my wings.
Totally. And I can totally agree. And not only what I am, but also what our family is.
Yeah.
Ioannis actually is our backbone. Like, he put things together because it's been challenging on the other side. It's been challenging on the children and family balance as well for us, with 2 young children, and for over 2 years working 6 days a week, building a business, going through all the challenges. Ioannis kept it together pretty much.
Ioannis, how did you see the transformation? You've been quiet so far.
She's better. Speaking of that person was a patient of mine, and through conversations we got to, I thought that he would be a good match for Katerina to guide her. So, but yeah, obviously, as she mentioned, she was anxious, she didn't sleep well. I think it was a bit of a burnout, the phase that she had reached at that stage. No,
Okay. And how's it been? You are holding it together, as I hear from Katerina. Your plate is full. Who do you go to seek advice, to vent, to breathe? Because there's a lot on your shoulders.
So I don't go to anyone, but like I like the part that I have to do things with the kids. I enjoy it a lot. So I take a lot of energy from this in a way, of how the kids want to be, and it is a phase that the kids are really, really nice to be around. And also Katerina, as we said before, the kids, when they're around Katerina, it's a different dynamic. So when Katerina had to go to do these sessions, it gave me more time with the kids, so we had a good time. So yeah, for me it was easy. Like, I didn't feel like I had to do something extra. I just a bit more to spend time with the kids. But I don't feel like I needed...
I don't agree. I don't agree. At that time is when Ioannis picked up golf. So Ioannis started playing golf to vent, to get...
But I always was doing things. I do my karate,
this is when you picked up golf.
The gym. So golf, it just came because a lot of my friends at the time, like my network, started doing it, and they invited me, you should come. And when I want to learn something, I do it seriously. So I spent a lot of time also in that, which maybe, it is a place that guys, we go around, we walk, we play, people are more relaxed, they discuss things. So yeah, maybe it was a part of my therapy in a way.
And my experience with Ioannis is that he does discuss, I don't know if it's only with me, but I feel that both of us have a relationship where we discuss our problems very, very freely.
Yeah.
So now, if you look back, it's been how many years of running your own practice?
So it all started in 2022 and we launched 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
So it's 2 years into the practice. If you look back, I'm sure there are moments that bring a smile to your face. And then
Indeed.
there are moments that bring tears to your eyes. So if you mind sharing a bit of the moments that brought a smile to your face? And for this time, I want to start with Ioannis. Let Ioannis go and then you can, Katerina, add on because, yeah, Ioannis tends to listen and then he just adds whatever's got missed out.
Everything that was in theory, it started happening now. So, and then, during that process, my daughter was born, our daughter was born. And we had another 3-4 months until it opened. And finally, when we saw the first patient coming in, and that was very, very, very nice feeling that finally it's done. It started to operate. And, tears myself, I try to remember like I didn't have any tears. I think in this process in the clinic. No, I don't think so. No. But yeah, still, it's very, how to say, rewarding. And sometimes we forget what we have created because we come in every day in and out, and it's like a second home now. So we don't realize what we have built sometimes. And now that it's going even better, it is, impressive what we have achieved. And we get that by people like you, patients, and we forget sometimes this in the day-to-day life and the speed of how things are going. And people remind us that you have done a good job, it's doing great and all that, and we love the place, we love what you're doing. So yeah, sometimes we need to be reminded because we're here pretty much 5 to 6 days a week, so the days go past really, really quick.
So Katerina, your
my turn. There have been many moments, happy moments with big smiles, challenging moments. It's true, and Ioannis, okay, maybe he took it a bit more literally about the tears, but concerns at the very beginning was, we are going to invest in this place everything. Everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. All our savings, all our money, all our time, all our career, everything. We didn't have a stable place when we actually started this and came into this. And this is that was a moment that it was very tricky for Ioannis. He forgets, which I'm happy to hear. He forgets, but Ioannis, naturally, he's not a risk taker. He struggled a lot at the beginning to not have anything stable and to make a move that is up in the air. Yes, we trusted our ability and our work and everything, but at the end of the day, we risked everything coming into it. It was a really nice moment when the first patient walked in, that's for sure. When we got, actually, for me, it was even nicer because I was dealing with all the, as he says, works, design, construction, and it was a great moment when we got our license as a polyclinic. When we got this confirmation that everything is great, everything is perfect, you can actually start operating and seeing patients. It was a big moment, a big smile. It was a big achievement. I had a little tear, I guess, when one of our very good employees, one of our best employees, decided to change industry. And she wanted to move on, which I supported a lot, their ambitions, their background, and from admin work here, they wanted to get to a different industry. And we're still talking, we're still communicating, we're still checking on each other. But for me, it was a little tricky when they resigned. I must admit, it was a bit It hurt a little.
Mm.
It hurt. But we all with good vibes for them. Yeah,
How
I
many
guess
people do you have total now as employees?
now, including Ioannis and I, we're a team of 15.
Wow.
And we started as a team of 5.
And how many admin people there managing the background show?
There are 4 full-time admin people now. And we have some help from here and there from the background, but 4 full-time employees, admin.
And other than that, all physiotherapists, and I know there is a
Doctors
sport
as well.
massage, a doctor, a
And
sport
doctors.
massages,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're growing. Touch wood, you're growing well, you're growing strong, and I'm waiting, and I'm seeing you, cheering you on your journey, because it is really special for me. I'm passionate, and I believe in joint success. I believe the Emmy Hub logo is a butterfly effect, taken
very
from
nice.
the butterfly effect. So I do believe that one butterfly can create a tornado. We rise together. We rise together by doing ethical business, by doing value-based work, by being purpose-led, by going back. And if I reflect on my journey, I can very well say people do not understand. People think, oh wow, it's great, you do your own job, you are your own boss now. What they do not realize, especially I as a consultant, when I took on, I remember one boss doesn't know the other boss, and they all want their project to be delivered on time, and that is my challenge. I also remember the flexibility and the freedom, enjoying that it comes with it, being able to decide when I want to take a leave, being able to say no to some work if that doesn't interest me.
Not only for us, it's not only the management style, it's for all the employees, for the business. Flexibility even comes all the way down to our people/patients. And when I say flexibility, I don't like to have very strict rules that I don't go out of the box. I like considering each case as unique. Things happen. We're all people. This is when I was not treated fairly and with flexibility when I became a new mom, and I do not appreciate that at all. So one of the big values that we stand for is flexibility across all aspects. Good quality is another one. We aim for good quality no matter what. We focus more on quality than quantity. We've built this business very gradually, very slowly. People are asking us, but why do you have empty rooms and you're not hiring more people to work and earn more money? Because for us, it doesn't work this way. When we find the right people with good background, good values, good culture to join our team and can also fit in well with our culture, then yes. But actually for 2 years, we prefer to have empty rooms than anyone just working to bring more money in. And yes, our growth has been very slow, but again, this is part of who we are. This is part of our values. This is Ioannis and I, we're here building the business and the team. We want the team to be happy, to be able to work well for the business to grow. If the team is not happy and we're just seeing them as yet another person or just someone to bring money into our business, this is not who we are. We don't do it this way. I guess it has to do as well with our background. We are in healthcare. We value people. We support people. We help them. So the management style cannot be different to that. We've been employees for a long time in our career, and when clinicians are not appreciated, respected, valued enough, they cannot offer the same service. They cannot be good at what they do. And for me, that was a very key point that I realized that back in the days when after the first clinic, I worked in Dubai, and this is when I quit because I was not respected anymore for what I was doing. And we do it differently. We value our people. We value, it's them first and then the business. The business will grow together with people. In this industry, business will grow automatically together with people. We cannot focus on the business and forget people because our business is people.
Yeah, pretty much so. Have you guys broken even on the initial investment that you made?
On the initial investment, yes.
And
But I want to mention that here, and that's why I'm not clear, because we haven't received any profit from the business yet, because part of our approach is reinvest into the business.
Yeah.
So breaking even, in theory, I guess the answer is yes, but because a lot of this money is going into the business again for the growth of the business, I cannot really tell you the initial investment we broke even.
I got that.
This is because our business plan and business approach is a bit different.
Got that completely. Both Ioannis and Katerina, a lot of it I'd already heard during my sessions, and that's the reason I wanted to start with you guys. Anything else that you want to share as inspiration or nuggets of knowledge from your journey that you want others who are starting out, leaving the comfort of jobs and starting out their own businesses? Is there anything that you want to share with them?
For me, I'll start first by saying that, and it's a cliche, a lot of people have said that you have to fail to learn, and you try again, and sometimes you will fail. But if you know that you are good and passionate about something, you have to keep pushing until you make it, because you might fail. Like you asked at some stage earlier, Katerina was saying about London. We were thinking that, okay, we might make it in London. The clinic initially, the very first plan was maybe to open a very small scale clinic in London. And I think we would have been quite successful as well. We came here and we sacrificed all the money. I was gonna say that there was a time in my bank account was only 350 dirham. But we had and for us it was difficult because both of us were physios and we didn't have any other source of income. But we were saying to each other that even if we fail, okay, we would have lost all our savings, but we can start again as employees. Go back to the hospital, in a clinic, would still survive. We didn't take loans. So we would go back to being an employee, both me and Katerina. And then work from there again. So that's why if you know that you're a good physio or whatever profession you do, there is always something that you can fall back to and continue and start from there. And okay, making business, it might not be for everyone. And it's not like being a father or a mother. It's not for everyone. So it's the same thing. So sometimes you have to fail in a way to learn. And sometimes it is painful. Sometimes it might not be the same. So always you have to keep pushing and trying. But that the core value is being good at what you do, whatever that is. If you know that you're good and you are confident about it, there is a chance for big success. And that's for me.
I'll mention two things here. It was about a year after we launched, approximately maybe a bit less. I had a phone call with my mom and we were discussing about work and life and balance and kids and marriage and everything. And at some point my mom asked me, do you regret getting into business? Would you prefer to be an employee, to do your 8 hours of work, close the door, go home, not having to think about anything, and go next day back to work? And I actually said no. So I had the passion, I knew what I wanted to do. With all the challenges that we've been through, Ioannis is right to say that it actually made us stronger. We learned something. We were a team as well, so it's different. It is different. We supported each other in difficult moments, and we stood up again. But I do agree, and this is what I want to add to what he said, that if you're not afraid of failing and it doesn't just drag you down and that's it, if you have a purpose, if you know what you're doing, what you're good at, you have a vision, you should stick with it. You should go through, you should try at least. And again, it might not work. It might not work the first time, it might not work the second time. If you know what you're doing and what you want to do, it will work. Ioannis and I, along the way, we said it many times to each other, we know exactly why many people drop out. There are many challenges, even just simple things, paperwork. Like the processes of paperwork, licensing, and requirements, small little things. If we tell you stories, you'll be like, unbelievable. But we had to find our strengths, stick by the goal, keep fighting, keep going until we reach there. But we could have left it early on. The challenges are real. We just knew what we wanted to do. We had a purpose.
And that is the reason the series is called Grit, Grind, and lots of gratitude.
Yeah.
For what the universe brings on our table.
Absolutely.
We are all works in progress. As people, we are works in progress, and our businesses are works in progress. On that note, I would like to close this. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy, hectic schedules, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye. If you like this interview, please don't forget to subscribe by pressing the bell icon and follow us on our social media handles as we talk to more and more micro entrepreneurs who are living their dreams boldly.